Hi, everybody. Erica from In the Company of Cards here. Welcome if you're new. If you've been here before, welcome back. I would have been here yesterday, Monday, but the internet in my area was out. So just as I got ready to boot up the computer, uh, I realized there was no internet. So, normally on Mondays, I talk to you all and I tell you what I have on offer so that you are aware. So I read Lenormand, which is a European card divination system, and I look at issues of politics and culture. That's what I do. I use a deck that is my own deck. It's called Erica's Lenormand of Hope. But there are many beautiful Lenormands out there. This is just the one that I created. You can get it through La Panthère, like the Panther, lapantherestudio.com. And there's a link under every video, a link for this and the other things that I'm going to mention. One of them is the fact that I've written a book called The Language of Lenormand. It teaches you how to read the system in the way that I read it. If you'd rather read the French edition, there is one. It's called Découvrez le langage secret du Lenormand, which means discover the secret language of Lenormand. I have a course also that you can take, meaning that I uploaded a bunch of videos, and that means you can sort of learn at your own pace. They're pre-recorded, and I am going to put up a course, I think, in October. It'll be on Thursdays, um, five Thursdays in October. So I'll put the information up for that in the next days. Um, what else do I want to tell you? I guess that's it. If you follow me here, you may want to also follow me over on a Substack where I write once a week. I did write this morning. It's usually Tuesdays is my day to write, so I did do that. So go over there. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. That would be great. And so today there's a few things I wanted to look at. I wanted to I talked a little bit about the passing of Dolly Parton in my Substack piece, so you might want to go reference that. And I will do something with her at the end of today's broadcast. So um, we'll get to that in a minute. So there are three things that I thought I would look at in addition to Dolly, and none of them are as wonderful as she was, but they're important. So the first one is the fact that Hakeem Jeffries, um, who will probably end up being the new majority leader and therefore Speaker of the House when we have our midterms in November. Um, he's a very serious guy. Like, it doesn't seem like he has much of a sense of humor, and I think a lot of people have decided that that means that he has gravitas, and gravitas is good. Gravitas has its place. But he met with Jared Kushner recently, in recent weeks, and secretly, but obviously the meeting got leaked. They met at a mutual friend's place, I guess. They have known each other before, and supposedly the meeting was about things like, you know, fair housing and where they can find a meeting of the minds between the Felons administration and the new leadership in the Congress once that happens. Um, First of all, Jared is not in government, except unofficially as this liaison over the Iran war. And how's that working out? But he does not have a role in government. And I'm not saying that Hakeem Jeffries can't talk to his friends, but that's interesting that that's your friend, Hakeem. I'm from the East Coast. I live on the West Coast now, but I'm from the East Coast. And I'm well acquainted with Jared Kushner's role or alleged role. It's more than alleged, but anyway, as a slumlord, both in New York and New Jersey. I mean, I've known people who've lived in his buildings. I've seen some of his properties. He's a slumlord. So isn't it interesting that Hakeem would be talking to him about housing? Like Jared cares because he doesn't. Jared wants to make money. Again, for entertainment purposes and allegedly. But I'm not thrilled with this meeting. So I would like to know, what was that meeting really about? What did, we like to think that the good guys are the good guys and the bad guys are the bad guys, but sometimes the good guys are the bad guys. I'm just saying. So I'm going to use birds because birds is the card for meetings. And I want to know, what did they talk about? Why are they meeting? Why did they meet? Now, I mean, one thing we pretty much know for sure is um, they wouldn't have met had the felon and company not been afraid and sure that they're going to lose the house come November. Assuming that the felons plan to either eliminate elections, which that's not going to happen, or somehow botch things up, doesn't work. So they are afraid that they are going to lose the midterms because they are. And so I guess this is a way of making nice with the opposition. If I were the opposition, meaning the Democrats, I would not make nice. How did that work for Obama? Putting his hand across the aisle to the point where he was not able to get things done because Mitch McConnell, a name from the grave, um, made it his business to thwart him at every turn. So that reaching across the aisle thing, that's so last century, I feel like, meaning 1900s. Um, but anyway, let's look for the birds and see what that meeting between Hakeem and Jared was all about. Oh, oops, upside down, almost knocked my glass over. Okay, birds popped right up. Okay. So yeah, it was meant to be secret, things we're not supposed to know about. Crossroads. Choices, choices. How are they going to figure out how is the administration and the Congress going to work together moving forward? Birds is in the center, and then oh look, a heart and the sun. What a kumbaya moment. I'm going to pull more clarifiers because I'm not impressed. So I'll pull clarifiers on everything. Okay. Well, you know what? I feel a little bit better given now that I pulled the cards. So I pulled on everything. Let me, okay, this is thirsty work. Our first card was the book. This was a clandestine meeting, right? That got leaked. What are the clarifiers? The anchor, the older man, and the bear. So it's a clandestine meeting. The felon knows that he is sunk. Remember, anchors can sink us. He knows when the Democrats win the House, he is sunk. He won't be able to do anything. And so it was a little bit of, I think this was Jared actually trying to make a power play. Like, instead of making nice, kind of trying to strong arm Jeffries. Well, you might try to do this, but then we'll do that. I don't like the bear there. Um, it could also be that they were both trying to strong arm each other. Okay, our second card is crossroads, choices. We have the child, we have the young woman, and we have the young man. So there are choices in how things happen going forward. They're going to have to do things in a new way. Child. He's not going to be able to, wave the mushroom and get what he wants. It's a new ball game. And I feel like this is just the people. And not only do I feel like this is the people, I think that Hakeem, who is old guard Democrat, is aware that the progressives are on his heels and that the progressives' numbers are growing and that it's not last century politics, hands across the aisle. That if we change the House and if we change the Senate, um, we're going to want to see real change. And that means in the last 2 years of this administration, this is the people, the energy of the people, young people, women, um, people who are progressive and wanting things to be done in a new way. Okay, so they had this meeting, which is the birds, to talk about the future of their relationship with the White House. And, can they sort of have a meeting of the minds? Can they get to yes on certain things? So they probably did deal with specific issues that are particularly important to Democrats. And, will the White House get to yes on some of those things? Because if not, there's going to be a problem. But can they get to yes? Okay. So, the last two original cards, if you recall, are the heart and the sun, that kumbaya moment. But look, so all lovey-dovey, hands across the aisle, mountain, whip, scythe. I do not think this was, in the end, as friendly a conversation as it started out being. Because Jeffries, he may be the next speaker, but he's going to have his feet held to the fire by his members, right? So, and they are increasingly progressive. So it's not going to be this love fest. The felon's not going to be able to schmooze people the way he did in the 80s, when everybody thought he was a Democrat. He's going to be blocked and he's going to be fought at every turn. And then we have the sun. Now, the sun moves from this kumbaya thing when it was with the heart to the other meaning of the sun. In this case, it's like a torch, like a flashlight, shining light on the fact that the felon and MAGA and all of those people in that sphere are dead ducks moving forward, and that their time in government, these last 2 years, will be, in fact, quite painful. So Hakeem knows he's being watched by us and by the progressive wing of the party. Hakeem knows that half-step measures are insufficient to the needs of the moment, and that the felon is going to have to be stepped to at every opportunity. So that's good. I feel better about that. I think I think he made himself very clear, and Jared can, as they say, run and tell that to his father-in-law. Run and tell that. Okay. So this is good. I think Jeffrey's made it very clear that if the felon is worried that this is going to be a bad 2 years, assuming he's around for these 2 years, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. It's going to be bad for him. Okay, good. Speaking of the felon, uh, someone whom I read about a lot in months past and then kind of gave a rest is Ghislaine Maxwell. Now we know that Ghislaine Maxwell was transferred to that cushy jail in Texas, having been moved from Florida, from a really not nice prison. Now she's in a kind of a more country club like jail setting with a puppy and apparently work release permission. But anyway, she has been filing appeals the whole time. And her most recent final appeal was rejected and called frivolous. The grounds were just not sustainable. Word on the street is that she was waiting to do the only thing that she has left, because there's only one thing that she can do at this point, without, to avoid having to serve the next, I guess, 12 to 15 years that she has left on her sentence. And that is to get a commutation from the felon. And she was waiting to exhaust all other avenues, because I think that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to wait until you've tried everything there is to try, and then you can make an appeal for a commutation. Uh, I guess what I want to know is, will the felon grant her an appeal? Now, grant her commutation. Now, or a pardon. If he does this, he probably won't do it before he leaves office. Now, of course, as far as he's concerned, he'll never leave office. That's why he's building that bunker, right? Um, it's also true that he could drop like a rock without having had a chance to commute anybody's sentence. So I just want to know, I guess what I want to do is I'm going to look at her and see whether she remains in jail or whether she gets some sort of relief, which would have to come from the felon. Okay. So we're going to use the older woman, and that will be Ghislaine Maxwell. I put up a membership. It's only one level, but I did it because people are always asking me, what can they do? How can they thank me? How can they support my work? So there is a membership level. It's like you're buying me a cup of coffee every month. So if you'd like to hop on that, that would be great. I'd love it if you did that. Also, please do like, share, subscribe. So this stands for Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay. So you know who, he always knows when we're talking about him. You know who shows up. And then we have the fox, we have Ghislaine Maxwell, we have the rider, and we have the mountain. And that tells me that, the felon is trying to be too clever by half. He's really trying to stay as far away from all of the e-file stuff as he can. And that means staying far from her, like Ghislaine who. So here she is, and she will put in her paperwork for that commutation or pardon. And the message that she'll get back from him is, nope, He's not going to do it. I don't think he will pardon her. I think he would rather take the chance that she says, okay, well then all bets are off and I'm going to tell the truth. I think he's willing to take that chance because she's already lied so much. People will probably say, well, whatever comes out of her mouth next, good, bad, or indifferent towards the felon, you can't trust it. So therefore, I think his calculus is what, you know, what do I have to lose? Let me just leave her there to rot and she can talk till she's blue in the face. I don't think he's going to commute her sentence. Okay. Oof. Uh, Natalie Harp. So, last week we were all talking about how she's clearly unwell. I mean, she is, there's no question, obsessed with you know who. She's been obsessed with him for not months, but years. Apparently, she's the one who introduced him to Laura Loomer. And that's how Laura Loomer got his ear. She's got him very siloed so that he doesn't really know what's going on except through what she shows him or tells him. That obviously is dangerous. We know that the FBI have said that they think she's a potential danger to herself and to him. And that, of course, that speaks to the fact that she's, I think, and I mean, and I'm not a doctor, so allegedly um, unbalanced, we'll just say. But during the course of the week, and certainly over the weekend, there's been more and more speculation that she is an asset, a foreign asset. She makes $150,000 a year. That's a good salary. But all somebody has to do is get in somebody's ear and say, how about we put a zero or two at the end of that, Natalie? All you have to do is, give us access or show him this or don't show him that. Easy money, Natalie. So, what I would like to know is I know she's unwell, but I just want to know is she also an agent of some sort? Of either a foreign government or an entity that um, is trying to control the felon in some way and therefore affect our politics and our economy and our standing in the world, etc. So I'm going to use the younger woman for Natalie, and I just want to see what comes up. I mean, regardless, we know she's not harmless, but I mean, how harmful is she and why? So we're going to look for the young woman. She's 35. Seems, her affect seems way younger, but okay. Okay. I'll pull clarifiers, but what we have is the dog. So this is someone who is loyal, trustworthy. But look what it's followed by, the snake. So if you were to put these two cards together in the context of this reading, and I was asked like to do a math problem, right? This card plus this card equals what card? So dog plus snake equals fox to me, meaning she's not on the up and up. Here she is in the center. She is trying to better herself. She's really, and I think she is an agent of a foreign, by agent, I'm not talking about like 007. I mean, she is an actor for possibly another government. And if I had to pick one, it would be the blue and white flag one. I'm just saying. But it could be any number of them. So let's look further. Let's pull some clarifiers on this. I mean, why was she so slow to have her security credentials vetted? And she can justify it by saying, well, that country with the blue and white flag, I mean, they're allies, they mean us well. So, what's a little money exchanged among friends? You could see where she would in her mind justify it. So anyway, this is the loyalty card, the person you can trust. We have the heart, we have the clover, we have the tree. I mean, this is how she's made him feel. That she has said, nobody cares about me or knows me the way you do. She's pledged her undying love. Um, she's someone who brings him a lot of happiness and he doesn't mind the fact that he is in ill health. She is solicitous of him in his ill health. But look, we have the snake. I don't like it. I do. By the way, one of the meanings for snake is a clever woman. I don't think she's as dumb as people want to make out that she is. She may be besotted, but I think she's besotted not just by him, but also possibly by the prospect of making some big money. So, snake, anchor, mice, and then the yes card. So the anchor, I mean, it's not safety because it's between the snake and the mice, which are not good. So she's the anchor that weighs something down. So the yes card mirrors the snake. So is she a snake in the grass? Yes. And I mean, could she be an unwitting agent of a foreign power? Well, I mean, possibly. Like, let's say she just likes the idea that foreign government people are coming to her to get access to him. That's like I guess that would be like a power rush, right? But I think it's more financial than anything. Okay, so here she is in the center. We have the ship, the scales, and crossroads. Listen, this is her. This is for foreigners, people and things foreign. Overseas, I think she has been offered something. And so therefore, she's double dealing. She's at cross purposes. On the one hand, she loves him, but if she can make a little money on the side because of that from some other entity, she'll take it. I think she was offered something that she couldn't refuse. Again, I'm just a card reader. What do I know? She is trying to better her station in life. Remember, she comes from nothing, right? Um, oh, and remember I said foreigner? This is the other card for foreigner. So some foreign agent said to her, "We can, we'll go, we'll, what is it? What is that expression in playing cards? We'll see you and raise you." I think that's what it is. We will see you and we'll raise you. We'll match your salary and we'll put a zero on the end of it, and that will better your station. Uh, I think she made that deal, and now she has to pay the cost of that. You know, she sacrificed whatever integrity she had, and now she will be found out, and she will have to pay for that because she will be found out. Okay, then we have the last card, which was the tower. And the clarifiers were birds. Look who shows up, the felon, and then the garden. So I do think she's being paid. I think she meets with people, talks to them, etc., decides whom the felon talks to and meets with. There he is. And then we have the garden. And the garden, think of it kind of like the sun. It's out in the open. Who she really is out in the open. She wants you to think that she's this, but I, I don't know. I think she's this, and I think she's this. And I think she's playing a really dangerous game that in the fullness of time will be revealed. So there you go. So, everybody with any heart was crushed by the death of Dolly Parton. She was as I wrote in my Substack piece, I consider her both good and great. Um, she was a gift to us. We were lucky to be in the world at the same time as she was. Um, everybody who has a heart, like I said, is broken up over her passing. And might be a little early, but I guess I just wanted to ask whether um, there's a message that she would like to leave us through my cards. And so I'm going to let Spirit, which of course she has now rejoined, I'm going to let them pull all the cards. And I'm just going to do 5 cards. I guess the question is, um, what what would Dolly want us to take away from our experience of her being in the world? What would she want us, how would she want us to remember her? What would she have us think about or do? I guess that's what I want to ask. I think that she'd like us to put a stop to all of the ugliness that there is in the world, all the fighting, all the arguing, all the dissension, to put a stop to it. The center card is the key, and I love that. And the key, the answer, and I'll pull a clarifier, I feel like, for the key is, you know, to realize we're all just walking each other home, to be good friends to each other, and to commit to that, the way she did. So I'm going to pull a clarifier or two on the key. Um, so to clarify the key, I feel like the message is that we can do better and we can be better. Also, I love that the book comes out because she put books in the hands of millions and millions of children. Millions. And she understood the power of the written word, the power of literacy, particularly in these times when the literacy rate in this country has dropped precipitously. And she's saying that literacy, can be part of the great equalizing force that helps us improve our lives and the lives of everyone else. So, you know, If you want to give a donation to something, I think her literacy program would be a great one, or your local library, or whatever. She was a big proponent of that, and I think that that's the message that she has for our cards. That I want to pull a card on the ring or clarifiers on the ring. So, be committed to this idea of stopping the dissension that there is among us. Be committed to being a good person, a helper, like Mr. Rogers would say, look for the helpers, and stay anchored in that commitment because we are all one family. And, to quote the Beatles, love is all there is. So that's the message. She was a wonderful woman. I don't want to cry. I already cried a couple of times. Um, but we were lucky to live in this time when she walked the earth. So um, Godspeed to her. May her memory be a blessing. Her memory is a blessing. And, may we all have people feel like the way the world feels when we go. Wouldn't that be great? You could say you left quite a legacy if the whole world is choked up the way the whole world is choked up now about the loss of her. As somebody said, uh, they got the wrong 80-year-old, but I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, anyway. um, Tomorrow's Wednesday, so I will be here tomorrow night with Lena from Lena Down Under. It will be alive, and so please do come, bring your questions, bring your comments. We generally have a few things that we want to talk about, but a lot of times in the comments, things will pop up that we will address. So that is tomorrow, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to put the notification up for that right now. So thank you all. I would love it if you become a member and buy me a coffee. It's just one level. Um, Go over and check out my Substack if you're the reading type. I think Dolly would like that. And I will see you all tomorrow night. So take care.